Winter came to the Sea of Sins, bringing cold, empty houses, lonely seas and cities. But where we were headed, it's winter all year round. After our clash with that zombie battleship from hell, I was hoping to ring in the new year with the guys over something hot in our favorite bar by the fortress. I even bought a sweater with reindeer and decorated the ship. Those idyllic plans snuffed out the moment we got the order from Mid. Turn around. Turns out, our organization has a base in the Arctic where some mysterious guy has been working for a couple of decades. He'd recently raised an alarm. Tied up at the station was a battered Vladivostok. Some joker had painted icebreaker on the hull. In the wardroom that smelled of pickled herring and sauerkraut, we found a 50-something commander who looked like life had already gone 3 rounds with him. He introduced himself as Fyodor and immediately shoved a bottle of something cloudy in front of us.
So, you finally made it. A little late for that. Fine, I'll tell it from the start. The last expedition wasn't easy. Well, expedition. Once a week, I fly out to feed my pet polar bear. This time the weather turned on a dime halfway there. A storm came out of nowhere. That happens here. 0 visibility, and I somehow managed to set the helicopter down on some rock. The storm blew out overnight, and when I woke up, I found myself on a giant concrete pad in the front of a frozen-in structure the military had clearly abandoned. Nothing valuable inside. Nothing but an archive with the coordinates of some anomaly you're going to like. Supposedly a ship, but a very strange one. Damn it, they're back again.
Before he could finish, the captain bolted for the landing pad, tossing a handheld radio in our direction.
The storm kicked up the snow. Satellites picked up the base, and now we've got air raids every day. Get back to the ship. We're holding them off. I'll handle the skies.
Fine, but don't overestimate yourself. One helicopter won't handle that kind of crowd.
Don't tell me how to live, rookie. Your helicopter won't handle it. I have an AW-249. It's got decoy-proof missiles, automatic AA, and a machine gun. Not even a fly gets through.
Fyodor, we've got a problem. We can handle the ship, but we can't hit drones underwater.
Hang in there, kid. Help's on the way. This bird's a special order. It's got a grenade launcher that hits under the water. Whew. Looks like we held them off. You shoot pretty well, kid. Served before? Anyway, no time. We move now. It's only a matter of time before they reach those coordinates, if they aren't there already. The spot's nearby, but we need a new ship. Vladivostok stays here with my XO, Victor, and your frigate just won't cut it.
Hey, we did sink an Alsace.
Don't strain yourself, I know. But we're going up against subs, planes, basically everyone. We need a jack of all trades. Fast, well-protected, and flexible. And I know exactly where to find one. A Turkish friend of mine is opening a northern branch of his casino tomorrow. Time to pay him a visit.
Distinguished commanders, welcome to the grand opening of the northernmost gambling house on the seas. This is where dreams come true. Tonight, in honor of our opening, the finest prizes await their lucky winners. Who didn't dream of being a cowboy as a kid, With the American Mark 71 gun, that dream comes true. Respectable damage with a fast reload. Or maybe you saw yourself as Special Forces with a 4-barreled launcher. Yesterday, that was a childhood fantasy, but today, it's the Israeli MAR 290 MRLS. Its projectiles fly at a mind-blowing 515 knots. Only Turkish manufacturers go faster, but this one hits both torpedoes and submarines. For those who've always wanted a remote-controlled toy, we've prepared the Nuclear Hi-Fly 2. You can send a full-size carrier to the bottom with that one. And all this cutting-edge weaponry can be mounted on this month's grand prize. For everyone who loves samurai, anime, and Japan in general, we present a new ultra-protected frigate. The JS-30DX Storm Eater. 1 gun, 2 grenade launchers, and 5 missiles will leave your enemies with no chance. But that's not all. This ship has the most advanced defensive systems. The unique Type 12 Kai-2 torpedo launcher basically lives its own life, throwing torpedoes at anything it sees. Ships, subs, other torpedoes, it doesn't care. It'll keep firing until the frigate is standing alone in a 4,700-meter radius wasteland. We even thought about teaching it to fire torpedoes at aircraft. But why bother when the ship has 2 multi-purpose Bofors guns? They hate aircraft more than our accountant hates tax inspectors. On top of that, there are 2 VLS AA systems with expanded salvo size, and another 3 mounts for any AA you like. They say that ships don't float, they sail. Well, this one flies. A real-world 27-knot speed combined with handling that lets you pull off full-on Tokyo drift, not a frigate. An ironclad spirit of Bushido. It will go to those lucky enough to grab fortune by the tail. But there are no losers in our casino tonight, because every player receives an FQF 6000 anti-submarine grenade launcher as a gift. The Turk would have kept preaching all night if he hadn't suddenly noticed us. Or rather, our polar expert, Fyodor. With a shout of, "Fedya, is that you?" he ran over, hugged him, and dragged him somewhere deep into the casino. Fyodor came back half an hour later, buried under gifts and jangling the keys to a brand new frigate. Turns out that back in the day, this Russian and Mehmet were a duo cleaning out tourists in billiard halls across Antalya. You'd never guess from that beat-up mug that he's a master-level shark. Riding on that little stroke of fate, we gunned it for the coordinates. On the way, Fyodor told us what we were up against, and that's when we started to feel uneasy.
I got word from my XO. Every cutthroat in the region has already paid that abandoned complex a visit. First was Anika Tuorak, who lives nearby. She swept the base and left a parting gift for future guests, a JRVG-1 AA gun. How she managed to wire a ship-mounted cannon into a dead generator is anyone's guess. Rachel Kenning clearly wasn't thrilled by the surprise. Then again, she probably doesn't care much. Recently, a whole container ship went down here, filled to the brim with CH-7 drones. Sunk empty, if you catch my drift. Last to show up was submariner Thorvald Bergson. He's the nasty one. Stole a batch of Hyunmu 4.4 missiles for his fleet. Scary pieces of work. Hypersonic, high arc trajectory. Best not to meet Bergson at all. Our job is simple. Find the object fast, grab the data, and get out while we're still in one piece.
We finally found it. An icy titan locked in an iceberg was absolutely staggering. Staring at it, you'd think this Leviathan was built to fight in space, not at sea. But something else was even stranger. The architecture, the shipbuilding style, and the name Nusantara all screamed Indonesian origin. Only I don't recall Indonesia fielding anything like this. What is all that equipment on it? Where did it come from?
Did it fall out of orbit or what? Look alive, competitors are already on our tail.
Take up good positions and start shooting back. I'll handle the scanning. Guys, I think the ship just woke up. Get out of its firing lane now. Reading a main gun salvo, guessing 310 millimeters. Blast power around 174,000 standard units. Heads up, secondary batteries are engaging. Try to dodge them. Looks like 2 independent automatic systems, probably 210 and 127 millimeters. Redirect your torpedoes to the battleship. Let's see how it reacts. Go, babies! Ha! It's running similar gear. Looks like the hard kill. Get behind cover and volley missiles. Just not at the ship itself. We're taking it intact. Yeah, anti-air here is off the charts. Missiles, guns, even lasers. Look, a sub. Bergson made it after all. He's having a rough time. The battleship's defenses swat his attacks easily, and it's hammering the sub with grenade launchers on top of that. Never seen a system like this before, but the analyzer shows a combined salvo of 63,000 standard units.
Attention. This is Cryo Commander Aiden Holt. Cease fire immediately. Identify yourselves and transmit the control cipher key for your vessel. Failure to comply will result in your ship's destruction.
Aiden Holm. I know that name. That's what my buddy's son is called. He's no commander, he's a second year at the Naval Academy. This is Sailor P-21. Does the name Richard Holm mean anything to you?
You know my father? Who are you people?
Electromagnetic pulse. Comms are jammed. And what the hell is that shit? You do what you want, boys, but I'm not getting mixed up with it. We're lucky to walk out of this. I've got the battleship data recorded. Let the competition fight that thing. We ran for our lives. And while technically the mission was a success, we left with more questions than answers. But the important part is our crew survived again and learned a vital life lesson. If you're planning a vacation, don't pick up calls from your boss.